Huzzah and welcome back, lords and ladies. This is going to be a monster of a build for you. If you can see behind me, this is an automatic potion brewing machine. It's smart. It can work automatically to fill up an entire barrel or shulker box or single treasure chest for you. Um, it uses the ingredients wisely. So first off, let's have a big thank you for Broken Bones 623, whose channel I will link in the description of this video. This is part 2 of my automatic potion brewers, but you need not have watched part 1 for this to make sense. And I'm not going to waste any time, as this is already going to be an enormous video. So first off, you will need a section of 12 building blocks. I like to keep my circuits distinguishable from each other, so I'll use this colored concrete. If you're familiar with my videos, this is how I do this. You can use whatever block you want to build. We're going to take a lever, power through our block to a repeater and to a sticky piston. You're going to need 12 of these because there's 12 different ingredients, a section of 4 for 4 boosters, and 1 for nether warts because all potions require nether warts. At the back side of this, you're going to build a platform that matches our section of 12, our section of 4, and our singular tile there, and then build a bridge all the way across. You'll run repeaters into each of these, redstone dust behind all of that, and a repeater to carry the signal because a signal can only go 15 blocks before it's too weak to continue. So we'll use a repeater here to carry it on. At this point, you can power this block with redstone to power the repeater, to power this block, and power our droppers. These are all droppers facing upwards. They're easy to build if you turn your circuits on. Your building blocks will move up so the power can be carried through. Place all your droppers in place. And that's step 1 done already. I'll have a lingering look here so you can pause. And we'll take one lingering look at the back here so you can pause and see that as well. A side glance. There's no delay on any of these repeaters in any of this portion of the build. On to step 2. So the first thing you're going to do is run hoppers into each one of those droppers. Add yourself a glowstone lamp, or a redstone lamp, excuse me, on top if you'd like. It's a nice little touch so you know which item is turned on. They turn on individually. You can place item frames for each of these. I do recommend doing that. You don't have to do the lamps, but you will be lost if you don't use the item frames and items, or at least a sign, some indication for which item is which. We're also going to be adding our brewing stand in this step. So the first thing you need is a collection box. This can be a shulker box, a barrel, a single treasure chest, that's fine. A solid block for our new circuit. I've used our purple concrete here for our purple circuit that we'll get to in next step. Wooden buttons. It's important we use wood and not stone. Timing is different between stone buttons and wooden buttons, so let's err on the side of caution and use wooden. Solid blocks above that for your item frames there. You'll run a hopper into the back of your collection chest and place a brewing stand right on top. You'll have to crouch place it. That's no big deal. You'll have a hopper directly into the right side as viewed from the chest from the front of your machine. A hopper goes into the right side of your brewing stand. A hopper goes into the back of your brewing stand. Another hopper goes into the left side from the front of that hopper to the back. 2 hoppers directly above your brewing stand, and a whole line of hoppers facing into them all the way down. So let's have a look at this. We'll have a look at the front as well. Whoops, a little far back. Okay. Now things are about to get complex. We'll start with purple circuit first because it's underneath. So we've placed our button on our purple block. Just so you know, it can be any building block, like I said before. It doesn't need to be purple. I will, however, grab a button for demonstration purposes. You're going to go one block below, redstone dust, step down to the side, redstone dust, 1, 2, 3, into a block, into a repeater, into another purple block, powering redstone dust on top, into another purple block, just for demonstration purposes. So what that will do, this torch is locking up this hopper so items can't just fall through. When it is turned off, it's turned off just long enough that all 3 bottles of potion from your brewing stand can fall through into our collection chest. While there's items inside, this comparator is running a signal into this block, but we'll come to this block later. It will be part of another circuit as well as that. Now our yellow circuit and our smart bottle filler. First, we're going to put that there because you will need to prime this system. But looking into this hopper, that's this hopper here, the sideways one feeding directly into the back of our brewing stand. We will check with a comparator. When the comparator gets signal, this observer observes it, sends a signal to this observer observing the observer, and this final observer observing that second observer. However, this one is placed laterally, sends its signal to a redstone dust and into this yellow concrete, which once again can be any solid block that you'd like. I'm using yellow because this is our yellow circuit. This is a dropper. This is a dispenser. You'll have to fill these with glass bottles. We'll quickly do that for demonstration purposes here because this system needs to be primed before the machine is usable. In fact, most of these systems need to be primed before this machine is usable. So place a button here just temporarily. You'll see our observers are working, moving bottles out of this dropper into the hopper to keep it full, or excuse me, into the dispenser to keep it full. Now it's going to first load up water bottles into our brewing stand and then fill this hopper. So we need to keep going until this hopper is full. And then this hopper needs to be full as well. 2 more. Now, I don't remember buttons having such an obnoxious sound, but there we have it. Full water bottles. Now, when when this hopper empties out, or is empty enough that this comparator shuts off, our observers will observe it and send the signal around, and this will keep itself filled. It's smart enough to keep filling up these hoppers and thus filling up bottles to your brewing stand. That's your purple and yellow circuits done. Moving along now to the magenta circuit. This is the most complex one to build, and it needs to be done in a specific order. So I have over here a reduced facsimile of our overall machine with just two of our ingredients sections similar to over there, but otherwise the same. So what needs to happen is our magenta circuit is here to what it does is smartly unlocks the hopper for just long enough to allow your potions to go down into the collection system while locking up this hopper so that you don't send a bunch of unbrewed water bottles through and into your collection box. So, we had purple concrete right here in this previous step. This is right here. However, I've raised up the whole station or the whole system so that I don't have to dig out underneath to build it. We're going to take and remove that block. Since this is sharing a circuit with purple circuit and with pink circuit in the next step, we're going to have this be magenta. Let's get rid of these bottles before we continue on here. Like I said, magenta becomes one of the most difficult to build on here, though it's not the most complex circuit we've got. Pink circuit will be that one, but it's easier to get to because it's on the outside of the machine. We'll need a sticky piston, a regular piston, redstone block, observer. We have our magenta. We'll get our white concrete and a repeater and dust. Pardon me. We'll take a sticky piston facing towards the ingredients, or if you view from the front, it's facing to the left, but you can see it back there just a little bit. Now, get yourself an observer. It's going to be facing outward. It will power this block, and you see we've built ourselves inside. What we're going to do is we will eventually, well, we'll place our regular piston, and then this block will lock up the hopper as we need it to be locked up. This circuit will push it out of the way so we unlock this when it's time and lock that one back up. But we don't want to be too premature about it because we first need a piston to push it back down. So we'll place that. We'll have our hopper locked up. Now, incidentally, yes, it will lock up your blaze powder supply, but that is so slow to be used that it's not going to be a worry. This won't break your machine. Place an observer looking there and place a solid block. Now, this is not where the observer's power is going to be important. When the observer is raised by our piston and before it's pushed back down, it will power this repeater. But we want this repeater to last 4 ticks. So when the piston pushes our observer up, it sends a signal which will be delayed. That one's temporary. 4 ticks of delay on that one as well. We'll send power through. This is all still magenta circuit. We'll send power into that and into the redstone dust. Another one. Whoops. And yet one last one. And one final repeater with 4 ticks of delay. Now to test this, perfect. It's pushed up. It waits just long enough for our items to come through the way they should, and then it pushes it back down in place into locking this hopper. On to our final step. pink circuit. So I hope you got your helmet sturdily strapped on because this is a difficult one. The first thing we're going to need to do is get yourself an anvil and rename some things and place them into this hopper that is directly over top of our brewing stand. Now, I will never miss an opportunity to pat my own back about how clever I think I am with hopper stopper. So enjoy that. You need 22 items that do not get brewed. So it does not matter what you use. You don't even really have to rename them. You could use 22 sticks. Just make sure that they're plugging up 4 out of 5 slots in this hopper. And they cannot be used in potion brewing. This solid block is opposite the glass, holding our water in. You'll place a comparator. You may need to place that block too. I don't know if that's been placed previously. Oop, pardon me. My apologies. I thought I had a sneeze coming on and didn't want to blast anybody's eardrums out. So, comparator, checking through the block to this hopper that has 22 pieces in there. Powers this block, powers this redstone. You'll see this one is on, this one is not. Alright, and just to double check, we'll make sure that that didn't do anything too devastating. Okay. When there is an item in the hopper to power, it needs to only one item to power this redstone, which powers this block, and their piston, which pushes our observer out of the way. When the observer comes back through, we have a 4-tick delay repeater here to send enough signal here to fire the comparator and lock up the hoppers oppositely for just a moment. Okay? Now, to the side of our piston, we're going to place, you're going to need a temporary block and then to place that block. And then you're going to place that there so that that piston is extended all the time. Now, to start off with, you're going to need blocks like this. Comparators facing into this pink block and this pink block, and then droppers. This dropper faces forward. This dropper faces upward. This dropper faces to the back of the machine into a hopper that faces into the forward facing dropper. So you'll have a circular motion going on here as it gets activated. We're going to have one item in there. It does not matter what kind of item, just one item. I've named it toggle because that's what it's doing. It's being a toggle switch. It turns power from this button and cycles our item up and over and down into here, which will activate the comparator, turn off this torch, and allow our piston to be unextended, activating our observer and cycling our whole machine. Once this comparator turns off, it's on right now because it detects that there's an item inside this dropper. It will allow this torch to be on, and this will indicate that your automatic brewing mode is on. We won't turn it on right this minute because I don't want to break the machine before we're ready. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This is complete. you have a complete automatic brewing machine. So we're going to take and make extended potions of regeneration. So a gas tier makes a regeneration potion. Redstone extends the effect, and netherwort is necessary for all potions. So you might notice that all these items are going to go in order because a hopper picks up from the leftmost spot first and then goes in order. The last item to go in is a netherwort because it's seeding the next batch. So we have water bottles in here. And this you have water bottles in here because we primed the water bottle filling system. Now you'll have to place a netherwort in there, and then we'll press single. We'll check the hopper. We'll see our gas tier is in place. Once our netherwort is brewed up, our gas tier will fall into place. We can even check the hopper above to see that our redstone is in place, and then, whoops, so is our next netherwort. So we made ourselves an awkward potion with the netherwort. The gas tier falls into place, and these will become regen potions. Now, I told you this thing is smart enough to know to brew all of the items. That's because this will be detecting an item in here until there is no more item. The netherwort will be the last one. It will fall out of the hopper and into the brewing stand for the next set. What you'll get. So, watch these bottles carefully. We'll push the button. They'll be removed. New bottles are placed in. Our netherwort gets brewed into the water bottles to make awkward potions. And here are our 3 potions that we just brewed. This is your semi-automatic mode. Touch the button, 3 more potions. Touch the button, 3 more potions. On. Nope. I forgot. We do that. We'll wait for these to be finished up, and then we'll turn on automatic mode to show you that working. And try to keep this video under 30 minutes long. But, as I said, this is a monster of a machine. It's great to have. You do need some prior knowledge of potions to know what you're doing. However, this will keep going until this shulker box is full. It will continue until this is full. You can also take and put a storage system underneath. So if you're familiar with my videos, you could put a shulker box loader underneath this thing. You might have to make some space because it's a long ways down to the bottom of these circuits. But you could do such a thing and load yourself up just shulker boxes full of extra potions. Whatever potions you like. So we'll watch back here for a moment so you can see how this works. When those potions are finished, this should all fire. And our next set of ingredients is already preloaded. And this, like I said, will continue until this box is full. And because it will finish off a potion before it sends it through to your collection box, you'll also have no detection in here because that hopper is locked. So, finally, we have completed this. This is a fun build, and I can't wait to have one of these in my own survival world. Once again, a shout out to Broken Bones 623. I'll link his work in the description, and go check out his channel. He's got a lot of good builds. It looks like very simple redstone stuff, very informative. But I am excited about this machine. So this is your White Sun Paladin. I hope you're blessed on your next adventure, and I'm off to my next quest.